Hello, soul family. I'm Shannon, and I have a very special guest here today with me, Daphna Ohana. And we're going to be sharing a topic on the wisdom of divine technology. And this is going up on our Biohacking Summit. So, really want to introduce just this profound, intelligent beauty right here, Daphna. Daphna, do you want to share a little bit about yourself before we just dive right in?
Sure. Thank you for everybody, and I'm grateful to be here. What should I share from my
Who
from my
who
life?
who are
Yeah,
you? Oh, yeah. It's like, who are you showing up as today? It's ever
yeah.
changing, right?
It's ever changing, and it's interesting. So the point that comes to mind for me that has sort of like put me in a certain pathway, and also I believe brought into the forefront something that I most likely brought to this lifetime with myself is at the age of around 18 and a half, I had this thing within my system that wasn't quite functioning, and I wasn't able to wake out of bed, and I had to do some tests and found out that there is this undigested, I guess, thing within my body that I was told that I would live with. And I did not quite understand that because as an 18-and-a-half-year-old, I couldn't agree that this is something that is going to be with me. And so I went on a path of healing that naturally, as well as looking at the reason why this dissonance in my body was occurring. And so I went on this path of self-exploring the reasons and found out that I wanted to change the world, but more in the way of the masculine, the distorted masculine, where I wanted to push things and really came into the conclusion of the softness of we change life by our own presence with life in a different manner. I also took a path that considered, I utilized an ancient wisdom and a modality that is out of convention in order to shift my body into a place of wholeness, and was able to completely shift and have no sign of whatever was in my body within 9 months. And really that thread of how we can heal ourselves and come into wholeness through our own engagement with our own technology, and also the questioning that comes in that process of why is the dissonance in the body, and how to come back into equilibrium that we are all capable of. And this is something and within us and within our own technology that is coming in greater force in online in recent years. So this brought me over to various things within life, and eventually other elements in my life showed up in the same kind of vein, where the holistic model is alive for me. It's not just how just the mental sees it, or working with things on symptom levels. And I came into hypnosis and past life regression, and studied as well as energetics as they combine, and came to do the work that I am in doing. And as you know, it expands, and we have other energetic layers that participate in the work. And that's where I am today.
I love it. Yeah, the consciousness just keeps expanding and expanding. We just have so much potential. And that's why I love having these conversations with you, because you always come forward each time in a more expanded view of what's happening with the collective, with what you're feeling on the elemental side, planetary, multiverse. And it all comes back to home. home within ourselves, and, how we want to experience that, with optimal living, and really attuning into how the body is speaking, from source, from soul, but from the purest intelligence. So with that said, I'm just going to let you dive into our topic today, because I know there's a lot that you want to share, and I'll just kind of jump in here and there with you.
Yeah, so today I want to really talk about the major elements that are going to be in the cosmic arena and how we dance with those. And then I want to also thread the incredible alignment that is happening outside of our solar system, as well as with the outer planets. So, which really illustrate a cyclic evolutionary pathway that humanity has been walking, and an incredible alignment that talks about the futuristic times we are on, and the transformation that we keep participating and collaborating and co-creating with. And then I want to talk about the energetic signature and the layers of energies that are both within the earth in the good lines, and the newfound lines that are connected with the cosmic pulse, and how all of this relates in how we are integrating greater ancient wisdom and opening pathways within the energetics to bring ancestral information and embody more of the layers of our own light body, and bring into line more of the codexes that are present, embedded in our DNA. So that's where we're going to go.
Definitely keep going. I feel you in that, and it's important for us to understand the higher consciousness in a simplified way, right? There is so much happening around us. There is this energy which is creating, just for all of us to wake up, to shift, that the veils have never been this disintegrated, and just the cosmic circus. But for all of us, it's so nice to hear what you have to say, Daphna, because you always have such a clarity and a beautiful way of presenting it, where one can attune to the actual feeling of what's going on with inside them as transformation and changes are happening within the DNA and on a cellular level. So yeah, fill us in.
Okay. So we'll talk about the major pinpoints within the year. Of course, there is a lot of information, but just the major elements. And really at the end of 2022, that the last 2 weeks during the solstice and the last new moon, we are getting a glimpse into the future and the 2023, the upcoming year. So at this time where we are in the sacred gateway, where there is the rebirth of the sun, we have a beautiful alignment where Capricorn, which talks about the structures that we know have been crumbling, is touching on the world point, the omega ignition point, which is like the God spark and this creative energy that I'm sure that a lot of us are feeling, that has been ignited. It's like our passion, our flame within us, and all that is really speaking to our heart has been ignited at this point. And so we are getting this pathway that opens us to our own hero's path, our own spiritual warrior within us, and to really let go of the structures that no longer work for us in order to bring a restructured self, and bring forward into the new year structures that work with where we have become, with the person that we are now, and the future that we are really excited about. And so we have that. We also have another alignment with the Chiron, which is the wounded warrior. And this alignment really shows us what we've come from, the healing that we've gone through, and how we take ownership of our uniqueness, of our own divine design, and really bringing the structure forward that are our own terms through the flame of our heart. So this is part of the last portion of 2022. And then in 2023, we have these elemental changes. We have Saturn moving into Pisces, and Saturn is not really comfortable in Pisces because Pisces is more spiritual and Saturn likes to constrict. So we have been in a very fixed Saturnian energy that is more in vein with that energy that wanted us to look at what's no longer working. But with the Piscean energy that's coming in March, it's really talking about the high octave of spiritual structure that we want to bring forward. So we have that vein coming through. We also have during March a movement from Pluto, and that's a huge movement from Pluto that has been in Capricorn for 20 years. So all these falling of the structures that we've been feeling, and it's going to come into Aquarius, the future, our vision, humanity, community, all these things are going to come to life. And so we get a glimpse of that because it's going to be there only till June the 11th. And then it's going to go back into Capricorn to stay there for the rest of 2023, to just finishing off in the dismantling, to just really go in with a fine comb through everything else that needs to be dissolved. And then we can go and move into the vision.
Then we can breathe.
Yes, exactly. More aspects that come. So March and April are going to be such momentous energies because Mars has been retrograding Gemini and in that sign for 6-7 months. And it's going to come out of that. So we're going to bring the clarity after all this revision and weighing the options, because Gemini weighs this, always has these two things within its mental complexity. So weighing the options and really coming into clarity, what we value, what's precious to us, and what we want to bring into the new vision and the creation of our life. We also have the axis changing in the eclipses, as well as the karmic nodes that is moving from Taurus, Scorpio to Aries, Libra. So after we've been through all this restructuring of what safety is, what we value, all this, again, the fine combing on what does really matter to us. Really coming to a precision of what matters and what we want to bring our life force into. And then the last thing that I want to mention within the energies is Jupiter in Aries, which is such a beautiful energy. All the people with the fire and the air are getting to breathe and bring new life, but all other people as well. It ignites us. It brings expansiveness into our own self, really honoring the full spectrum of our vision, because Jupiter is in the sign of Aries, is speaking again of the spiritual warrior, of where we want our life to be, of being present and the ownership of our own uniqueness. which speaks to the Aquarian energy, but also the Aries that brings that, with the alignment also with the other aspect of the axis of Aries, which being in right relation and being in balanced relation with each other and with all life. So these are kind of the pinpoints, the major pinpoints, the larger brush strokes of the elements within the sky. And I find that it's helpful to know that, because we can navigate and we know what energies are alive and what we can work with. And I don't know if you want to speak to something in here, as from here I'm going to move into the outskirts of the celestial play.
Yeah, I'll share a little bit, just kind of bridging the conversation. It's, our divine technology is getting pretty sophisticated. We're all moving through these belief systems or limited belief systems. And as Daphna's, talking about the various areas where these energies are connected to, they're also connected very deeply within our body and the cells and the organs, intelligence, and so forth. And we're, getting shaken up and stirred in all this valuable consciousness, which will soon turn into intelligence, where we all can start, shifting where our awareness is and see with more clarity, feel with more clarity, allow the DNA to really do its thing, to turn on, because we're so supported in this higher shift of timelines. Again, timelines are breaking down. We're consolidating a little more. What was never really real is disintegrating. I think much of this is an illusion that we're playing in, but what's disintegrating before us is energies we don't have to hold in this intelligent vehicle. This body is so purely intelligent, and with all these strengths of these frequencies coming in, communicating with the intelligence, the body knows just what to do, right? It knows exactly what to do and how to communicate with you and how to purify at the same time. If, how Daphna shared in the beginning, if we attune to the true channel or radio station that is ours. And I think that's the gift with everything that's happening around us. It really allows us to come in and consolidate with who we are, and to pick and choose what do I want to tune to? What radio station do I want to be playing? What do I want to allow in my life? Because whatever we're attuning to, then we're holding in a collective field, right? And so do we want to stay in this like sticky, murky area and hold consciousness there when there's all this? We can go play and all that. So yeah, just kind of bridging off what you're saying is, the divine technology is getting really sophisticated. I think we as humans are turning on our sophistication if we want to. And there's many of us that are walking through the ascension and really doing the walk, allowing to see what is truly possible, and having an understanding of map of energies is very resourceful. And we feel like we've been in the pressure cooker for quite some time. And it's, it's just one of those things where I think we're all a little tired of it, but how, we're the ones that are only going to shift this if we want to get out of the programmed reality. It's time to honor what is speaking to you. And I love that, Daphna. That's what you just said. We're moving into these times where it's exactly that we get to honor what speaks to us in our heart. And we always did, but now because of the pressure cooker, you get to just it really will come on for some people. And then those that are struggling, just honor that it's a time of integration. It's a time of really just pulling it together and knowing that we are very limited. We're only using 10 to 12% of our DNA at this time. There's so much more to expand on. So from there, I'm just going to let you jump into the next segment that you wanted to share.
Yes, thank you. And the next segment is going to weave right perfectly to what you're saying, as it's going to relate to the intensified energies and how to work with them, and to really appreciate the amount of transmutation that we are walking with and through, and to really understand that taking care of our vessel and our well-being is not an option. This is really part of your schedule now. And it's necessary in order for us to be able to navigate these things, these times with greater grace, if you will. So the other layer I want to talk about, which is incredible to watch, because it illustrates the cycle of evolution of humanity in a form of like 12,000 years. So we're coming into this turning point that we've already have been walking with, where all the outer planets, including the Kuiper belt objects, the dwarf planets, all 6 of them are going to be, they started being from July 2021, and they're all going to be till 2026 in the 29 degree, which is an anarctic degree. This is a crisis point. It's a point of change. It's a point that calls for mastery. And so that is what we are. That's the interplay of the cosmos with our own technology. And it gives us an incredible momentum to reach that mastery. It weaves within us and it dances with us in such a way that it's supporting us, sometimes in a pushing way, unless we actually just jump and dive in, which a lot of us have been. So to be in that degree of mastery really talks about the point where we are going to come back into attunement with the original divine intent of creation. And the significant other layer within this alignment is that there is going to be a conversation. So on top of these planets all being in the 29 degree, they're going to have a conversation between them in certain points. Now, to understand how rare that is to see that, for example, Uranus takes 84 years to orbit around the sun. Neptune takes 165 years. Pluto takes 200, and I believe it's 48 years. Then we have Umea takes 283 years, up to 11,390 years that Sedna takes, which has a very unusual orbit. So to have them come together and touch the far reaches really shows of the futuristic times that we are on. And they not are all going to be in the same sign, which further illustrates that there are certain pinpoints within the energetics of humanity that are going through this fine comb and call for mastery from us. And some of the X's are talking about relational balance, justice, the shifting of the power structures, which we have been seeing, and moving from patriarchy to the reign of the divine feminine. And so to me, it's fascinating to see how these elements dance with our DNA to bring that interplay that we have participated in and bring the mastery into the forefront of our lives, both through our own life as well as understanding the reverberation that is happening within our humanity family.
Yeah, no, it's quite amazing. When I think of 29, you know, where we are at Activate Evolution, we use it, it's a bridge. It's a bridge to source consciousness. It's the actual step, you know, the 2 taking the 9 through to the 11. And I love how you shared, like, you know, how volatile but how synchronistic at the same time, you know, for this major lineup. And the way when I look at the outer planets, for me, it's really in the inner world. I really feel like all those elements are inside us, and it's what, you know, we're the ones that are creating the consciousness, not the outside. So everything that you're sharing, you know, I'm kind of interpreting it inward. I'm like, yes, yes, yes. You know, it's again, we've become so progressive as humans, as sentient beings, that we're doing all this inward work that is, you know, co-creating on a multidimensional reality. And it's so cool to interweave, you know, the intelligence of both worlds. But when you talk, Daphna, I can feel it inside me. You know, I can feel the power of those frequencies and of humanity and of the collective, and how hard we are working to ascend our DNA this time. Like, there's no stopping us. And it's just, I'm always amazed at the multidimensional self, right? You know, how we all are co-creating in this dance, and how, you know, we use our intuition and the intelligence, and how it still profoundly syncs up no matter where it is, right? It's just like the collective is on a trajectory, and it's on a trajectory for sovereignty and freedom, whether one wants to see that or not. You know, we know it's there. It's the liberation is happening so fast. And, you know, whether you know, we have this huge multiverse of planets, or they're inward, or what have you, it's like this network of electricity and how it's all co-creating together. I'm just fascinated. I'm completely fascinated with this time, and I feel extremely lucky, you know, to be with people like yourselves, and communities of like ours who want to just kind of decode and make it easier for others to tap into, and to find what resources work for them. Because again, going back to one of the first things you said, was it is very instrumental in keeping your body as pristine and pure as you can, and whatever that means to you. But there is this purification piece with the ascension, and to anchor in the collective consciousness, so that we can take this bridge that we're given, that 29 point, and allow source, because source is pulling us, whether or not, you know, it's like we're kicking and screaming going, no, we don't want to go to source. You know what I mean? It's just like, regardless, it's pulling us, you know, to show us just how amazing and intelligent the DNA and the biotechnology of the human is. And so hearing it from your perspective is always just so fun and cool to collaborate from the different aspects that we come from as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I love this conversation. And again, it just keeps reflecting back to, you know, the divine technology and these pure frequencies that are coming through, and how we traverse the energies. And so, Daphna, I'm going to let you, I know you have another segment you want to share with us, so I'm just going to let you take it from here.
Okay. So the last segment that I want to talk about is really the energies that really illustrate that interplay with the cosmic alignment and the outer reaches of our solar system, and how that comes and integrate and moves through the energetic layers within the earth as she is going through her own ascension process, as well as how we impact and are impacted by these energies that are present in the earth. And so there is 3 layers of energetic. The first one is the Kundalini energies and the nodal points within the earth that in nature are vibrational, which means that they create these echo of a vortex, a vibrational vortex. And they are also usually connected to power points within the earth, to temples, to crop circles that show up. And those are the ley lines of the earth. The next layer that I see as the layer that connects heaven and earth, I see as the layer that we, humanity, work with greatest awareness, if you will. And those are the grids that many of us have been working consciously with. And the grids are in nature electromagnetic, and they speak to the electromagnetic points within the earth and how we relate to them and they relate to us, and how they have been shifting as well. So they have been shifting, and to me, they have been shifting because of the transmutations we are going to impart. As we clear away ancestral density from the energetics of our own technology, it also relates to the electromagnetic, and the electromagnetic also, it's like the figure eight. It's back and forth energetics that we intermingle with. And so there is this layer, and the last layer is really in nature cosmic, connected to the cosmic pulse, and it's the emperor lines, or what some call the dragon lines, that have been discovered at the end of 2017 and more so in 2018. So they are quite recent. And they connect with the solar energy as well, the solar flares we have been receiving, and the way that the light codexes have been pouring into our energetic system, and providing us the support and the way of the movement of the energy of our own technology and the technology of the earth. And these lines have significantly amplified or splitted, like they expanded in recent times. They have doubled. And these lines are connected with the neutrinos and the photonic light and all the technology that comes through the light codexes that we are receiving, and connected to the galactic core, the great attractor, as well as connected to our own solar system and our own heart. Everything is this solar logos that we are part of. And I find the discovery of these lines incredible. And to me, part of what these lines do also, we know now, is that they open portals to ancient wisdom, and they are bringing the threads of the ancestry in, as well as ancient wisdom that has been laying dormant within our own DNA. And so these portals that have been opened are at this point within everything because of the work we are moving through. So there is, in all this madness we are going through, there is a purpose, as we know. And it's an incredible privilege, I find, to be living here in this time, to participate in this undertaking of shifting and changing of the gods and changing of the vision of our life, and coming into the wholeness of our technology as we are this incredible instrument in the expression of the divine through our own unique snowflake, through our own sacred design that is part of the whole. It's part of the heart of the one. And as each of us shows up in our uniqueness and embody that unique design and allow our expression to come into its full bloom, that's how we are both honoring what we came here to be, as well as to share with the great tribe of humanity and this incredible journey.
Yeah, no, it's such a shift, and it's happening simultaneously on such a galactic multidimensional level of frequency, and it is a privilege. It's, you know, to me, it's everything that you just shared. We're here to be the new expression, to breathe the new human, to reach 100% potential of DNA, right? It's like, if we're the ones here that want to advance everything throughout time and space, and whatever the past or the future, is, it's really up to each and every one of us who is here to do the spiritual discipline, to do the walk of integrity, to hold these fields of mastery that are, basically passing us the torch, but also these energies are available for us to receive the ancient wisdom, that's already living, embodied inside of us, to bring that through. So it's a miraculous time, and really now it's up to us of what choices do we want to make, to shift this programmed reality, and make it of something that's pure and beautiful and in complete organization of, I guess, the highest source, if that's, what it's to be. But the one thing I do know is it's pure and it's simplified and it's not as complex as we think it is, and the quieter we get in dropping all these timelines of past, present, future, this, that, what, and, inside the intelligence of the body, the one thing I do know is the body simplifies and it can turn on its organic divine technology. And from there, it can bridge to source very easily. And each and every one of us is so, we're a part of this. We're just creators and creation. And when you do get that turn on of a higher potential, the mind and the intelligence of the body gets so expanded. It's like, I don't know what the words are, but it's just this rich intelligence, this all-knowing. It's you don't have to find it anywhere outside of you. It's just, again, it's just this intelligence that's so rich and so pure, and you feel so good inside, and it produces instantaneous healings. The body already knows organically what it is. It knows its original design. It knows it's whole, and it's always sharing with us. It's always tapping, communicating and showing you, hey, choose a higher resource here so we can come back within and release all this density and all these timelines that you're trying to pull in that aren't serving you. So it's like everything that's happening it's just amazing how we're all doing it together, and how we process on such a multidimensional level. But on top of it, we have and are the divine technology that is transcoding all of this to become the new human. But it really comes down to creation and what your choices are. And meaning creation is, what do you want to create? What do you want to bring through now that you have all this potential, standing behind you? And, source frequency is so much of what we are. It's time that we trust that, and to do the walk of spiritual discipline and integrity, in whatever that means for each of us. It's going to be different. and there's so many ways to play in the game of ascension, but ascension is pure. That is the one thing that I do really understand about it. And reaching potential in your DNA takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of making choices that do fulfill the heart, that do serve you in ways where you know that you're lit up. You can feel the body turned on. You can feel the spin state in your cells move at a very fast rate to connect with everything on this electrical level that's happening on the multidimensional. Because not only is that getting light up, but the faster your spin state is within these amazing vessels of ours, it's connecting to that to raise. Again, we create this raised platform of collective consciousness, where we can finally anchor it. And it's happening. It's definitely happening. And it truly is a gift to feel these shifts, from density to where we're going now. Like, who knows where we'll be in a couple of years when more and more people are turning on the pureness, and turning on the DNA potential, like, to me, because even for me doing this work, I just see myself, everything gets more simplified and more condensed, and I'm not having those chemical reactions and so forth. It's just a very pure place, because working through those timelines and creating choices of being disciplined with wanting to ascend my mind and body. And what does that mean? It really just means I want to be of my highest potential, because I like feeling good. I like being one with sentient beings, and I like to see, what we will shift as the new human, because I do know we have all this potential. And I think when you get into that landscape of, being deep in reverence and that heartfelt love and that integrity, you can't go backwards. We all know that. There's just no way you're going to go back down. And so this is what you do become. You walk the path of, whether you want to call it heroes, or, to me, you're walking the path of what we truly are. And that is, the purest of divine technologies. And again, we're given that chance here together, and that is absolutely amazing. So thank you for your share, because it always just, you light up all of us. I love the way that you can align with the planetary, lines, the grid lines, the ley lines, line up with, I just know that you channel from such a different place than most people do, especially with astrology. Astrology can get a little convoluted, but there's so many that actually really sit in the intelligence of it. And I think that just comes down to DNA, right? It's really that turning on that potential where the truth is on such a higher spin state, and it comes through at a very rapid pureness. And when you share, I feel that, and I honor it. So I thank you for the conversation today. It's definitely been a blessing.
Thank you. Thank you. It was great being here in a shared space.
And for our audience to find you, Daphna, tell them what your website is first.
Okay, so my website is healingrootshypnotherapy.com.
And then, do you have any last words for this crew today?
Just to really come into the full ownership of the full spectrum of your own rainbow, and let the buds of your heart to blossom unapologetically, and know that as you live in that vein, that's what reverberates, and also gives permission to those that are a little bit shy about doing that. So you, as you walk in that path of your own divine technology, you breathe life into the echo of that in creation.
Beautiful. I love that. I got chills when you said for those who are shy, help them breathe the consciousness in. So true. I know there's so many that are curious out there, and it's a little scary to tap into these types of fields of energy. But once you do, there's no turning back. The fire is lit because your heart's lit up. So thank you again, Daphna. And yeah, thank you, audience, for joining us. And we're going to be signing off. We love you. We're grateful, and talk to you soon.